It's one of those days.
Not happy at all. Well, from Monte Carlo to Italy, where the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix takes centre stage this weekend at the famed Imola circuit, the second race of the new F1 season, and one again to be held behind closed doors due to the pandemic. Britain's Lewis Hamilton going for a record 8th world title this year, but he likely knows he could well have his work cut out in the months ahead, judging by the close-fought opening race in Bahrain that Hamilton won. The young pretender Max Verstappen in his Red Bull has secured pole position in his last 2 races, and Hamilton well aware of the threat posed by the young Dutchman.
It's clear that Red Bull have started off really well, and with a great package, and Max is driving really well, so it's set up for a good season ahead. It's exciting for all of us that we do have such a challenge on our hands, and it's not one that we shy away from.
For us in general, it was a positive weekend, but the race of course was a little bit disappointing to not get the win there. But if let's say that's a bad result, then I'm just looking forward to the next 22 races. So it seems like we have a very competitive car.
Big weekend ahead, much more to come as we check in on last night's WNBA draft, bursting with family pride. The priceless moment when your granddaughter is the 6th overall pick. Let the celebrations begin.
Sustainability. What does it mean? How can you redesign your life to make it happen?
Everybody has a role to play.
See what innovators are doing to motivate change.
It's a new way of doing business.
For a brighter future.
It's social plastic because there's value that's been transferred into society.
Tomorrow Transformed, Sunday on CNN. In partnership with Expo 2020 Dubai. Africa. Go inside the inventive minds, evolving places, and creative trends of the Africa you need to know now. The business of renewable energy and the innovators leading the charge.
There's an opportunity, I think, for Africa to develop in a different way than the global community energy grids.
Inside Africa, this weekend on CNN, in association with Zenith Bank. No holds barred.
Out front tonight, hypocrite in chief. So let me just put it to you straight, Senator. Senate Democrats, they're getting their butts kicked.
No nonsense.
Are you simply shooting the messenger because you don't like the message?
Facts first.
How stupid do you think we are? Allies in Washington are covering for him, and they shouldn't get away with it.
Because getting to the truth matters.
The Washington Post went and confirmed the date of that hearing, so you're telling me unless I go back to the time capsule, you're not going to believe it.
Aaron Burnett out front, Tuesday to Saturday on CNN.
We're back now with Six Nations Rugby's defending champs England await to see who they'll meet in the tournament final later on this month. And that comes off the back of a big month for the women's game after the announcement of a new global tournament for 2023 that will unify the international calendar for the first time. Not to mention, of course, bringing with it an $8 million cash boost from the sports governing body. Our Christina McFarlane been speaking with England star Shauna Brown, who played last weekend in the big win over the Italians.
Women's sport is here, women's rugby is here, we're not going anywhere, we're literally going to keep growing and keep growing, and actually it's nice to see it recognised that the growth of the sport is going to be in a women's game. Men know they can play rugby, boys know they can play rugby, whereas in the normal world, that when I say either I play rugby or like my friends play rugby, it's still a shock, and I'm just sort of like, where have you been for the last 20 years?
But times are changing. Last month, World Rugby announced a major new global women's 15s competition set for 2023. And now there's the possibility of a women's British and Irish Lions team for the first time, thanks to its official sponsors, Royal London. England's women have been at the forefront of this change for some time, after becoming the first women's 15 side to be awarded full-time contracts in 2018. But Brown knows it's not enough.
You can see from our performances on the pitch, it's been huge, and in terms of the whole game, it is still a struggle, and it's pretty much about the other nations catching up, which it's the people like Royal London wanting to level the playing field, because actually it's recognising us as an England's women's team, we don't want to come down steps, like we don't want to come down to meet teams. It's about bringing people up to meet us, and if we're putting in that British and Irish Lions team, it's not acceptable for it to just be mostly English women. Like, we want other nations in.
You said that everything you do in life is towards winning a Rugby World Cup, and that you will not rest until you have a medal hanging around your neck. I wonder, knowing that, how much of a blow it was to you then for the World Cup to be put back, postponed by a year.
It was a huge blow, and we were in camp at the time. We found out the news. It was quite a lull in camp, because for me personally, like quite a lot of the team, I'd say in terms of age, it's 28 plus, and either are mothers or are new mothers or wanting to become mothers. And me personally, I'm 31 at the moment and would have played in the World Cup at 31, but now I'm looking at potentially playing at 32, and it's just that extra year. Like, has my body got another year of literally battering it each week, every week, but also the emotional space as well.
In a year where so many major sporting events have been postponed, Brown says the effects on women's bodies and motherhood should be discussed more often.
It's very important to talk about it and be upfront and express when we're disappointed or express when we're sad, because men literally don't have to think about it. So if we're not then pushing that agenda as females, they won't think about it, because why would they? They don't have to. It's just a little reminder, I'm a woman and I am different to you. I'm not trying to be a man. I'm not wanting to be treated like a man. It's just that level of equality that we're aiming for. Are we gonna get it? Who knows? But we can only try.
Really powerful words there. Well, from women's rugby to the WNBA and last night's draft, which really did feature a wonderful moment.